Hey, I'm Jessica, and welcome to your reality check. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode where I check off your list Love Island episodes 12 and 13. I feel like these episodes are complete opposites of each other. We have episode 12 where Huda and Jeremiah / mostly Huda are sucking the life and the fun out of the villa. But then we have episode 13 where MEGAN Thee Stallion just comes in and gives us the energy that we all needed. She brought the energy to the villa. She picked everyone up, and I feel like she even picked the world up, whoever's watching this show. It was such a breath of fresh air having this episode 13 just being so lighthearted, having the dance off, having MEGAN Thee Stallion there. It was so much fun, and it is exactly what this show needed, because quite honestly, I feel like they are just going through a downward spiral in the way that everyone is feeling. So it was nice for everyone to just forget about the drama. I think finally, after this episode, the drama is past everyone. I mean, let's hope so. And let's see, going forward. I think Huda and Jeremiah are officially done. I really do, especially after episode 13. I think they are done, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the next few episodes, because we know that we have these two new bombshells. They are definitely shaking things up. I think all guys are looking at this beautiful new bombshell specifically. I mean, the girls seem into TJ2, the new male bombshell. And then we know we have Casa Amor around the corner. I cannot wait. I am recording this on Sunday. And so After Sun aired yesterday, which was Saturday. And we know that we are getting Casa Amor tomorrow. That is what Ariana announced at the After Sun episode. Cannot wait for that. If you know, you know. The Hot Mess Express of Casa Amor is coming our way very, very soon. And all the more reason why it was so crucial for this episode 13 to happen, to lighten and brighten everyone's moods, because Casa Amor is really going to shake things up, because there really isn't any solid couples at all. Like, yeah, okay, you can say that Sierra and Nick are a solid couple. You could say that Olandria and Taylor are a solid couple, but they're very open to exploring other people. They're not closed off. So anything can happen at Casa Amor. So anyways, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the alarms are off. Casa Amor is on its way, and I absolutely just cannot wait. So let's start with episode 12. And this episode essentially starts in the evening of the day that the three couples came back from their date, like the three new couples that America coupled up together. And it's so funny because I guess because episode 11, they were on the date, and then this episode happened, and it was the evening of the same day. I kind of forgot watching that the date was actually that same day that Huda was laying on the day bed, like trying to be like an unbothered queen, which it was the absolute opposite. So anyways, it was again the Huda and Jeremiah show. This episode, it really, really was. I mean, I think, fast forwarding to the end of the episode, I think the line is drawn in the sand. I think it's done between them. I really don't think they're getting back together. But needless to say, Huda is, I feel like her actions and her words are just so different, because she says she's done with Jeremiah. She says that she wants nothing to do with him. She is constantly putting the blame on him, belittling him, calling him every single name in the book. But then any chance that she can get, she's pulling him for chats. She's trying to kiss him when he's leaning in for a hug. Like, she's just doing all of these things. And again, actions speak way louder than words. And I know that she wants to get back with Jeremiah, but I'm happy that he is not having any of it and he's standing his ground. Thank goodness, because someone has to, and obviously it's not going to be her. I'm glad that he's, trying to break that toxic cycle by just leaving her in this whatever relationship that this was. But anyways, this episode, like I said, it started off essentially with Huda and Jeremiah having yet another conversation. And this conversation, I think, was the catalyst for the downward spiral of the relationship. There was this conversation that they had, and then the next day they had another conversation, which I will get to, but it was these two conversations where Huda was just really not doing herself any favors whatsoever. Like, everything that she says to Jeremiah, like, she's telling him that it's clear to America and the people in the villa, everything that he did, and he's done things to show that he's not as interested in her. And he was like, you're funny, essentially, because he's like, I think it's flipped. I think America sees exactly how you're acting, the things that you're saying about me, especially behind my back. And in a nutshell, he's like, America had my back. America saw right through you and everything. And she's like, so what? You think America hates me? And there was a lot of silence on his end, which is pretty, telling. But she just doesn't read the room. It's like she hears what she wants to hear. Like, it's that saying, like, someone can tell you something until you're blue in the face, but until you come to the realization about it on your own, you're just not going to believe it, and you're going to literally hear what you want to hear. And that's exactly what she's doing. She doesn't buy the fact that America sees her a certain type of way, because everyone in the villa has said it. Everyone has said, I think the problem though is, like, the girls are telling her what she wants to hear, but then behind her back, the girls are like, oh yeah, 100%, like, America wanted to save Jeremiah from that and didn't want this toxicity anymore. And I think we finally see the girls throughout the course of these two episodes being somewhat honest with her, which is nice, because I think all us watching, we're like, where are her girls at? Why aren't they being honest with her? Why aren't they keeping it real with her? Why aren't they holding her accountable? That's exactly what PPG did last year. They held each other accountable. They told it like it is. And I think that's why their friendship was so successful. And that's why everyone really rallied around them, because they kept it real with each other. The girls, like, okay, maybe there's certain girls in the villa like Sierra and Olandria keeping it real with Huda, but I still don't feel like it's 100. Like, I feel like they're still not necessarily holding her super accountable, and they're kind of putting it on Jeremiah, right? Like, Jeremiah did what he did. You gotta forget what he did and move on. Like, they're putting it on him, whereas I'm looking for these girls to look her in the face and be like, you are acting a fool. You are acting really crazy, and we don't want any of it. You need to act cute, act classy, keep it cute, and move on. And you can rewrite your story from here. The season is only, 2.5 weeks in. You can rewrite your story, but you have to want to do that. You have to be able to do that, but you have to recognize the fact that you are the problem. Like, I wish that's what these girls are saying to her. And I feel like, like I said, Sierra and Olandria are kind of doing it, but I feel like it's also, like, within passing. It's not necessarily sitting her down verbatim and saying, look, this is what you need to do. This is what you have been doing, and you need to put an end to it, and you're looking a fool. So anyways, we kind of see that with Sierra in, I think it was episode 13, and we'll get to it because I respect Sierra for, having the courage to speak to Huda, because we know everyone is literally scared of her and terrified of her. To me, it's still not necessarily going as far to hold her accountable. I feel like everyone is still trying to pass the blame to Jeremiah when they're talking to Huda, because I think they're just genuinely scared of her and telling the truth. Anyways, needless to say, this conversation really did not end well at all. And, he tells Huda, I have no regrets with you. I don't regret anything that I've said to you. I don't regret anything that I've done with you. I genuinely think, especially after watching this episode in episode 13, I genuinely think that Jeremiah really did have real feelings for Huda. I don't think he was, I mean, maybe he was playing games because he did say to her, when we win this thing, but I truly do think that he had genuine feelings for her because he was willing to work through this. Like, we see this in the next chat that they have, aka the last chat that they have, that he was willing to work through it. He even said, let's start from the beginning. I think we went from 0 to 1,000 real quick. Let's take a step back. Let's pare it back a little bit and let's start as friends. And that to me makes it seem like, yeah, he actually did have genuine feelings with her. His connection with her was genuine, because why would he want to try to start over if he didn't like the girl, he didn't care for the girl? Maybe you could say maybe he did it because there's no one else in the villa right now that would want him, and he's doing it to kind of, you know, cover his bases if there is a new recoupling. But honestly, I just genuinely think that his feelings for her were true. And I think for Huda, the fact that she didn't want any of that is to her downfall and to her detriment, in the sense of, okay, you have essentially drawn a line in the sand. If Jeremiah is saying to you, I want to turn a new page, let's start fresh, let's start as friends, like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Jeremiah kind of thing. And the fact that she didn't want anything of it, she was like, no, we have already built what we've built. Why would I go back to square one? That's her loss. That essentially is her doing. Basically saying, no, I don't want to do that with you. If she genuinely wanted to be with Jeremiah so bad, then why didn't she kind of accept his proposition, essentially? Why didn't she say, okay, I agree with you. I think we did go from 0 to 100. I think let's take a step back. Let's start fresh and let's see if we can actually rebuild and start fresh and rebuild what we had. We know that we have this genuine connection and this physical connection, but I think we need to, you know, wipe the toxicity clean and see if we are able to rebuild. Maybe we're not, but let's at least take a step back and try again. And the fact that she wanted nothing to do with it and actually flipped a lid when he offered and he put that out there to do that is crazy. And you know what? I think what he said to Huda, I think him offering to start fresh, I think it was smart on his end. Look, if he genuinely is into her and likes her, I think it was smart on his end for him. However, how has seeing her toxic behavior, the way that she reacts to things, the name calling that she says to him, says to everyone in the villa, she has such a potty mouth and it's just so bad. And I think for him, I'm also like, on the flip side, how do you even want to be with this girl? How has she not proved to you that she is just toxic on every single front? So on one hand, I'm like, okay, smart to say, let's try again and start fresh, because again, he has to play the game. If he doesn't have a connection in the villa, then he's gone. And so yes, he's with Iris, but you never know what could happen with Iris. That's a wild card, right? Like, they're not a solid couple by any means. So I think it was smart for him to offer that to Huda, but then for her to be like, no, I don't want any part of that. That was drawing a line of the sand, and they were done, essentially. They were done. And I think, like he said, he tried to find a healthy solution. He's bringing forward solutions, and she's not having it whatsoever. And you know what? That's on her. It was his last attempt, and in that moment, he's like, I'm done. I'm done. And Jeremiah even proceeds to tell Huda, you know, Iris isn't my type. But he doesn't say to her, I'm not attracted to Iris. He just says, Iris isn't my type. That doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's the same when so many people on Love is Blind say it. They see each other for the first time and they're like, oh, you're not my type. But then they grow on each other. They become their types because they get to know, first of all, they have such a deep emotional connection. I mean, you know, some of them do, but they grow and foster this deep emotional connection in the pods that maybe when they do see the person in real life, yeah, okay, they're going to say they're not my type, but they're not going to be like, I'm not attracted to them. Maybe some of them will say that for sure and have said that. But I don't think Jeremiah saying to Huda, Iris isn't my type, he's not saying, oh, I'm not attracted to Iris. He's not saying that at all, because I think throughout this episode, I don't think that Jeremiah is just, going to Iris because that's his last resort. Like, I actually don't think that. I think he wants to actually see where things may be able to go. And I actually think the same for Iris. She said when she walked in to the villa for the first time as a bombshell, she said, oh, I'm into Jeremiah. Whether that was, producer manipulated or not, we'll never know. But I buy their connection. I really do. And so, again, I just think Huda going on and on and on and just provoking Jeremiah in this moment, getting mad at him for sleeping in the bed with Iris. How is that his fault? It's literally Love Island. You have to sleep with who you're coupled up with. And if you don't want to do that, then you have to sleep outside in soul ties. You think he's going to go sleep with Ace? Actually, no, because Ace is coupled up. Actually, no, yeah, Ace isn't coupled up with Shelly yet. So he's not going to go sleep with Ace. And at the end of the day, America put them together. Like he's like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault that he is sleeping in the same bed with Iris. And again, it's like Huda is trying to find every single little thing she's trying to find to provoke Jeremiah, to pick his actions apart. And again, I'm just finally so glad in episode 12, this man has seen the toxicity that Huda brings. And I'm glad that they're done. I genuinely do not think that they will get back together. I really don't. I don't think there's anything there. I think Jeremiah is truly scared of her and is just so done. And I think too, I don't think the boys will let him go down that path again. I really don't. I think, look, we know that we have this bombshell of a girl that just came in. We know that Casa Amor is around the corner. You think that Jeremiah is going to go to Casa Amor and you think he's going to come back single for Huda? No way. Absolutely no way. So it's done between them. I think it happened at the perfect time because now Jeremiah can hit the ground running, explore their connections. And I thought it was so funny too when Huda storms off from Jeremiah and goes to, I would say half of the Islanders are sitting on a couch. And she is just going at Jeremiah, calling him names left, right, and center, saying all of these things that he has done her bad and that he's done. Everything is just so negative about Jeremiah. And I don't think she realized, but like half of the Islanders left. As she was talking, they like quietly left the conversation. Like Nick went to go play ping pong. They were just so done. I thought it was so funny. And she was so focused and fixated on this conversation that I don't even think she didn't. Huda didn't even notice that all these people were just getting up left, right, and center. It goes to show truly how over it the Islanders are. They're so over it. And you can tell this episode, like I said, they all just genuinely look upset. And I think just the energy and the fun has been sucked out of the villa. And again, just I'm happy that Jeremiah and Huda are done. And some of the Islanders were talking about Huda and Jeremiah, Huda specifically. And Nick is kind of, I would say, the one that's leading charge. I would say Nick and Ace. I mean, Ace is the leader, I guess. And then you have his little minions, Taylor and Nick. But they are pretty outspoken. Again, I want them to be more outspoken to Huda. But they are outspoken about it to the other Islanders. And they were talking and Nick, everyone is recognizing. Everyone is just so over whatever the energy that she brings. And he says, the toxicity that Huda is bringing, it's affecting everyone. And Shelly, says too, Shelly's her girl. And she's like, the moment that Iris came into the villa, Huda had already set the tone of who she could talk to and who she couldn't. And Sierra even says, when she charged at Iris the other day, like, remember when Huda went upstairs and pulled Iris for a chat? Sarah was like, I was genuinely scared. And it just feels like they're, the villa feels like they're fostering her and Jeremiah's relationship versus their own. And I can kind of see that. Like, I feel like the past few episodes, it's been so focused on Huda and Jeremiah, and all the toxicity and the drama. And again, like, I know it's Love Island, and so they want to feed into the drama. That's what they're going to focus on. But now it's kind of like, we're over it. The Islanders are over it. And like I said, that's why I'm so glad that we had this episode 13. That was just so much fun. But yeah, it sucks to see the Islanders feeling defeated, feeling upset, because they're literally in Fiji. You shouldn't be upset about anything. You should be having the time of your life. You should be exploring connections, and that's it. You're literally on Love Island in Fiji. Why is everyone miserable? And it's because of Huda and the energy that she is bringing into the villa. Anyways, let's move on to another couple. Let's move on to Taylor and Alondria. Did you guys catch this? She lied to Taylor when she came back from the date, and Taylor's like, did you kiss him? And she said no. She did. Her and Jalen kissed on the date. It was a little peck. So I don't know if she doesn't count the peck a kiss, but a kiss is a kiss. She lied to him. I was like, Alondria, you were open and honest, and, we're Team Taylor, and you are exploring. So to me, if she had said yes in that moment, yes, we did kiss, wouldn't she think that would literally pull up Taylor's socks and put things into high gear for him? I feel like if she was honest, yeah, we kissed. It was a peck, but we still kissed. I do think the fact that Jalen is in the villa, I think Taylor is stepping it up. But if she was open and honest with him in that moment, I think maybe, they could have been making out at night. Who knows? I think are they coupled up yet? No, they're not. So they couldn't even be making out in the bed. But you know what I mean? They're just always going into the photo booth to share a kiss. And I feel like it's funny. I feel like that's Alondria's move. You want to go into the photo booth? She's like, you look great. But I'm like, no, that's code word to let's make out. That is literally the only place that they've shared a kiss is the photo booth. They're not coupled up, but they did say that they're acting like they're coupled up. And I do see that. Like I said, I see that Taylor is putting the effort. I can see that Alondria does like Taylor, but I need this physical connection, this physical energy. I need it to be more. I'm still not buying it. I do think that they have it in them. And I do think that Casa Amor will definitely test their relationship. I cannot see either one of them coming back with someone. I can't see it. Like, I do think they're going to come back single. And again, if that happens, then I think that will really be the catalyst to, propelling their relationship forward. But again, we're in episode 12. And if I'm not buying your physical connection, I don't know if I can buy you going forward. So let's see. Let's see what's in store for them. I like them as a couple. Like, I like them individually. I like them as a couple, but I need more. We see Amaya and Austin starting to build a relationship in this episode. And I mean, it's because Shelly and Ace are, really building their relationship. And so Austin needs to couple up with someone. Amaya is conveniently there. I actually think Amaya is very into Austin. I think Amaya is more into Austin than Austin is into Amaya. I think that's very obvious. I think Amaya wears her heart on her sleeve. I think she falls fast. I do. I think it's going to be a case where she really is so into him and he's going to be like, I don't really want much of this. I think it's just going to feel too fast for him. I can just tell the way that Amaya is with the guys, like how she kind of was with Ace, just very overpowering, overbearing. She puts all her eggs in one basket, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But again, when you're on Love Island, you got to play the field, test out the waters. I mean, why isn't she going to pull Jalen for chat? Why not? Right? Like, there's other options for Amaya, and I think she should be not putting all of her eggs into Austin. But again, whatever. I mean, they're coupled up in the end, so I guess it worked out for them. But I don't know. There's something about that relationship. You're telling me Austin isn't going to go to Casa Amor and make out with every single girl that's there? And you think he's going to come back single for Amaya? There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And so, again, I'm starting to like Amaya because I think there's just like a really genuine side to her. Like, I think she's a cute girl. Like, I like her, but there's just some times where I'm like, you're a little much, a little annoying. But I mean, I don't think it's going to last between them. I think it's just, good for now. It's just good for now. How about when Austin found out by accident that Huda has a kid? That was hilarious. It was Alondria and Jeremiah, I think, talking about Huda, and Austin was there, and they brought up the kid, like, oh yeah, and she has a kid or whatever. And then Austin's like, wait, she has a kid? And they're like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, please don't tell anyone. I thought that was so funny. Look, I think I'm not an Austin fan. I'm really not at all. But do I think he was kind of funny in this episode and in the next episode? Oh, he was killing me in the next episode. He was hilarious. I think his personality is definitely coming out. I think he's being more of himself. I think in the beginning, he was just, I don't know, he was just like this undercover hoe. Like, honestly, I think that's kind of literally what he was, right? Remember that challenge competition with the truth game, whatever it was? But now I think his personality is really shining through. Again, I'm not really an Austin fan at all, but I mean, he's given me a few laughs here and there, that's for sure. All right, this is where the fun really begins in this episode. The recoupling was basically half the episode. It was so long. It was at least 30 minutes. And before the recoupling, the night starts off with a bang. Because they literally get to the main area where, they always go before they start pulling people for chats. And Jeremiah pulled out the chair for Iris so she can sit down. And Huda stormed off. Like, someone said something, did something, acted something horribly. No. The poor guy was just pulling out a chair for Iris so that she can sit. And she is bawling her eyes out. Like, bawling. And again, it's just these actions that you are sucking the life and the fun out of everyone in the villa. It's just so unnecessary. The guy is just being nice. Don't take it any other way than, oh, he's a good man. Oh, he's just pulling out her chair. Like, that's nice. What's that word? Chivalry? Yeah, chivalry. Chivalry isn't dead. Like, that's literally what she should say. Oh, that's nice. But instead, she storms off, goes into one of the rooms. Hannah is there behind her, and Hannah's trying to keep her calm. And is like, girl, you got to pull yourself together. You got to pull yourself together. You're just looking like a fool. And that's essentially how the night begins. Ariana comes in. She looks absolutely fire in this pink dress. Ariana needs to drop her workout routine because the abs on this girl are insane. Like, that dress was made for her and her abs. She just looks absolutely incredible. She looks so good. I always thought Ariana was beautiful and stunning, but I really think after the breakup with Sandoval, she just really stepped up. Isn't her boyfriend, doesn't he own a gym or something? So that makes sense. I'm sure she's getting personal training from him. She looks absolutely incredible. I mean, that's good for his business, I'm sure, because if he owns his, I'm pretty sure he owns a gym, then people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I want to look like Ariana. I'm going to go to his gym because, you know, he knows what he's doing and he knows all these people want, I mean, those abs are insane. So she looks incredible. Love that outfit. And basically, this recoupling was something different. We have never seen this before. It was interesting because technically, yes, the girls got to choose the guys they wanted to couple up with, but the guys also had to choose the girls. And, you know, we're in episode 12. We've watched episode 13 too. I find it so fascinating that they haven't had a recoupling, a traditional recoupling where the girls choose the guys at all yet this season. It's only been the guys choosing the girls, then America recoupled, and now this new recoupling when both parties, both genders, essentially have to choose each other. It's very different. Haven't seen anything like it. I enjoyed it. And again, I just think producers, they know exactly what they're doing. It was right place, right time. It was so theatrical. The way that it all played out, it was exactly, I think, as intended, exactly what they wanted. And basically, each girl had to stand behind a door. And they had to text in who they wanted to couple up with. The guys then had to stand in front of the door of who they also wanted to couple up with. And if it wasn't a match, then the door would be locked and you knew that they didn't choose you, and the guy would have to go over to the benches and they were single and vulnerable. However, if it was a match, if both of them chose each other, the door would open and then you would be in a couple. So a lot of these couplings weren't a surprise at all. What I would say is this: Ace and Shelly, finally a couple. Finally, after 12 days in the villa, they're finally a couple. So I'm happy for them. Finally, we can see them as an actual couple, and we don't have to see Ace just really trying so hard to be over the top with all these dates, because now he doesn't have to, which is just so bizarre because he didn't need to do that if he only picked Shelly from the beginning. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying them. I'm waiting and hoping for someone better. Better isn't the word. I think better suited for Shelly. That's the word. Because I do think I really like Ace. I think he's a good guy. But I think there's a better guy out there for Shelly, for her. And I think there's a better girl out. Well, actually, I think Shelly's great. But I just think she's not on the same, like her and Ace are on different levels. And again, Ace is 22 years old. Shelly is what? 26? I don't know. I think it's fine for Love Island, but I'm not buying it off the show. I'm not. And they had their first kiss outside of a challenge when he chose her. So Shelly was very happy about that. And I'm going to be honest, I thought the speech that he gave her before he opened her door, I thought it was really nice. And again, I'm like, okay, I can see that he really likes her. She really likes him. Like, I do buy the relationship. I'm buying what they're selling, but I just don't think, personally, I don't think they're going to win the thing. And I just feel like there is a better suited person for Shelly that's going to walk through the door. But for now, I'm okay. I'm buying into them and I'm happy. To be honest, I felt like this was the first episode that he was truly into Shelly. Like, this was the first time that I felt that way, because I just, throughout the course of the season, like the past 2.5 weeks, he has been, you know, someone walks in the door, he turns his head. He's trying to go with Shelly, then he turns his head for someone else that walks in the door. Like, this was finally in this episode, he was all in on Shelly, which I really like. So we'll see what happens with them. Austin and Amaya, we got a new couple in the villa. I wasn't surprised at this recoupling at all. What I was surprised about was when Shelly, in a confessional right after they chose each other, she was like, I had no idea that Amaya and Austin were even, you know, talking to each other, like even getting to know each other. She's like, I wish I knew that. I wish I was given the heads up. I was like, that's weird. Why would you care? You've been first of all, you've been so in on Ace and wanting to be with Ace this whole season. You've been literally trying to get away from Austin. I didn't understand that at all. I thought it was kind of an unnecessary comment, if I'm going to be honest. And it was kind of petty. It was kind of petty. So we'll see what happens with Amaya and Austin. Again, I give them until Casa Amor. And then I think all hell is going to break loose with Austin and Casa. That's what I think. But, I mean, I'm kind of here for it. This really broke my heart. This truly broke my heart. Jalen, our little country boy, the guy that got a passport just to come onto the show, goes to Alondria's door. He tries to open it and it's locked. And I feel so bad because it means a few things. He's single and vulnerable. And obviously at this point, as we're watching, we didn't know what it meant. Did we know at this point that someone was leaving? I can't remember. But I think it was like, oh shoot, like probably he's going to go home either tonight or super soon, because it didn't look like anyone was really into him. And I felt so bad. It really broke my heart. He just seems like such a nice guy. And to the fact that he came here, he never traveled before, he never left the country. He literally got a passport for Love Island. It's pretty iconic. I think, listen, there is going to be a lot of opportunities for this man. He just made a TikTok since he left. He has I just checked before I started recording. He has 1.4 million followers on TikTok, which is, I think maybe, like, I would love for someone to do some research. To me, it is it has to be one of the fastest, if not the fastest, road to 1 million ever. He got to 1 million in 2 days. That is literally, first of all, that goes to show the power of Love Island. That is insane. That is insane numbers. And then if you look at his TikTok, he's posted like 5. Every single travel brand commented. Like Bayes, for example, was like, hey, like we would love to give you luggages for your next trip out of the country. Like it's just so smart the way that these brands move. And I love that. I love that about just these lifestyle brands. They keep up with what's going on in real time. It's really freaking cool. I'm going to say that. And I think, the door is so wide open for this guy. He really captured the hearts of everyone. He was in the villa for 2 days. He was literally in the villa for the same amount of time that it took for him to get over 1 million followers. That is insanity. It's so iconic. I hope he takes every opportunity that he can get because, first of all, ride the wave, Jalen. Ride the wave. And also, too, I think he deserves it. So that broke my heart for him in that moment. But look, he's going to absolutely kill it with whatever opportunities comes his way. And I think it's well deserved. Obviously, because the door was locked for him, that meant that Taylor and Alondria are now a couple again. They chose each other. And again, no surprise there whatsoever. Like I said, we'll see what happens in Casa Amor with those two. This was the moment we were all waiting for. And again, it was so cinematic. I love that they waited for Jeremiah to go to the very end. I love that the two middle doors were Iris and Huda. They knew exactly what they were doing, and I was just so here for it. This was so insane. The way that, first of all, Jeremiah walked up to Huda's door and then leaped to Iris's door is so insane. Did he need to do that? No, but it was kind of iconic. Every single person's jaw was dropped in the villa. Every single person. They were so shocked. I was shocked because, I knew that he was over it. I knew it, but I was like, does he have it in his soul? Does he have it in him to not choose Huda? Because up until this point, everyone has been so scared of her, terrified. So I was like, I don't know if he has it in him, but he proved us all wrong. And I'm happy that he chose Iris. I think it was the right move. I think him choosing Iris was a weight lifted off of everyone's shoulders. I mean, with the exception of Huda, it was a weight lifted off of everyone's shoulders. And I thought the hug that he gave Iris when the door opened, I thought it was just, goes to show just all of the emotions that he's been feeling. It seemed really genuine. And I think he embraced her, and it looked like they had hugged for like 30 seconds. And I just think it was him being like, I'm done. This weight is off my shoulders. I need to move on to something new, something that is just not toxic. I do have to say this though. I feel really bad for Iris. I think Iris came into the villa. I think she came in hot, and I think she just got the short end of the stick because she was just not involved. She was put in the middle of this drama, and I feel really bad for her, and I'm really rallying for her to find a genuine connection in the villa. I really don't want to see her leave. I genuinely really like her. And we'll see with this new bombshell what may happen, because I know in the preview for the next episode, I guess that's episode 14, that they kiss. So, to me, I'm like, they look like a good match, but again, you don't know. But I do really hope the best for her in the villa, because I think she just came in at her really bad time, and unfortunately was that bombshell that needed to be coupled up with Jeremiah, because there was no one else for America to put him with to, move Huda aside essentially. So I feel for her. I think her true colors have really come out in this episode. And I'm like, Iris, the fact that she stood behind Huda, I'm like, you're a better person than a lot of us, because I don't think a lot of us would have done that. But it goes to show she's a good person. She has genuine and real intentions, and I thought that was really nice. Curious to see what happens between her and Jeremiah. I don't know if things are going to really pick up between them, because like I said, we have this new bombshell coming up in the next episode, and I personally think that they will be more into each other than her and Jeremiah. But you never know. But again, you don't think Iris and Jeremiah are going to go to Casa Amor and just live it up over there? Of course they are, because they're not tied down. They're just here helping each other out right now to get through these recouplings. But I think once they go there, I really hope they both come back. I really hope for Jeremiah's sake, he especially comes back with someone, but we'll see. Cannot wait for Casa. It's gonna be good. I did feel bad for Huda though. There's a sentence that I didn't think I was gonna say. I felt bad for her when she opened the door. She was on her own. It sucks. That must have sucked, and it's super awkward, especially the fact that Jeremiah and Iris are embracing right beside her. But it is what it is. She did it to herself. I truly believe that. And what happened next, the turn of events that happened next, really did shock me. So basically, now that Huda and Jalen were single and vulnerable, they had to stand up at the front, and every single Islander, one by one, or I guess couple by couple, had to go stand behind the person that they wanted to stay in the villa. The person with the least amount of people that are standing behind them, they are now leaving the villa. And like I said, we know what happens. So for whatever reason, majority of people stood behind Huda. But I do have to say, what really shocked me to my core were a few things. The fact that Ace stood behind Huda, I did not understand that at all, because even when Huda put out her hand to hold Ace's hand, he's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, but then why did you vote for her? I think the only thing that I can think of is he stood behind Huda for Taylor, so that the more people that were behind Huda means that Jalen would be gone, which means that Taylor and Alondra can really focus on each other's relationship. To me, that's why Ace chose Huda. There's no other explanation for it. I really genuinely don't know, because it's shocking to me. It was shocking to me that he stood behind her. I wasn't surprised about Taylor standing behind her, because again, at first I was like, oh, he's doing it for Alondra to show support. But then I was like, oh, it makes sense for Jalen that he wants Jalen out. We did hear Taylor say it in the next episode exactly why he stood behind Huda, and he said that he just feels like she has potential in the villa and he wants her to find a connection. Do I buy it? Not necessarily. I don't think I do, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know that he wants to try and focus on Alondria, and I think with Jalen there, knowing that Jalen, the only person that he wanted was Alondria, I think it was just easy for him to stand behind Huda so that he leaves. The other thing that, again, was so just, I was surprised about, but I thought it was just really, really nice and respectable on her end, was the fact that Iris stood behind Huda. It shows that she's a girl's girl. Huda even said earlier, a few days earlier, Iris isn't a girl's girl. Yes, she is. The fact that she stood behind you speaks absolute volumes. That, like I said, I don't think a lot of people would have done that. I think it wouldn't have even have been petty if Iris went to go stand behind Jalen. I think it would have been rightfully so. But the fact that she stood behind Huda is really respectable, and why I really like Iris, and why I want her to really find a connection in this villa, because I think she deserves it. After that, she deserves it. Like, she's a good person. We want good people to have good things come their way. So I thought that was really incredible on her end. And like I said, I think the bombshell coming in the next episode, I think is going to definitely turn her head. All right, let's now move in to episode 13. This was such a good episode. It was so lighthearted. It was so fun. It was the energy that we needed. It started really low energy. Again, it was the Huda and Jeremiah show once again, but I think it's just thankfully done once and for all. And I really think them bringing Megan Thee Stallion into this episode, I personally think it was strategic, because I think the producers were like, look, everyone is so low energy. This is just not a good vibe. We need to pick things up. And obviously, I'm assuming they had plans to bring her into the villa at some point, but I think it was just so well timed. I think they were listening to the viewers as well. We were exhausted. Like, it's been exhausting watching Huda and Jeremiah and this mess and the toxicity. So I think it was just really well timed, and I think it was on purpose, and I loved it. Everyone loved it. Everyone just, it was a breath of fresh air. We all needed it. It was just so fun. But before we get into the fun, we got to get into, again, some people calling Huda accountable, which, again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, we weren't really seeing that. And because at this point, I think everyone is just at their wits' end. I think they're now trying to hold her accountable, but like I said, not necessarily fully holding her accountable, but I'll take it. I'll take it, because it's better than not having any sort of conversations with her whatsoever. Huda and Alondria and Taylor have a conversation, and they basically tell her, look, you and Jeremiah need to separate. And Huda is just constantly blaming Jeremiah. Every single thing that comes out of her mouth is negative. Since day one, it's been negative, and she's constantly putting every sort of blame on him. And Alondria even tells her, stop being mean to Iris. She doesn't deserve it, especially, first of all, she doesn't deserve it at all, but especially after the way that Iris just voted, you owe her a lot. Even though you weren't going to leave because you had majority of the vote, you still owe her. Oh, you owe her respect. More than anything, you owe her respect after she did that. Taylor just tells her, positive vibes from here. Please, no more tears. We're done with that. Put that all aside. Put that behind you. Again, so it's like they're having these conversations with her, but they're not getting to the root of the problem. I had wished that whoever was having conversations with her to try and like calm her down and like turn a new leaf, they weren't saying, look, like I said, you're looking a little cray. We need you to tone it down. The way that you're talking, the way that you're speaking, the way that you're acting, it's not acceptable. It's not good. You're sucking the life out of the villa and us. No one's doing that. And I think we saw in this episode, Sierra I would say she did it the most. Like, I think she was really trying to hold Huda accountable. Like, Sierra says to her, I was conflicted. I didn't know who to vote for. I was almost not going to vote for you to stay, because I feel like you genuinely cannot take steps forward in positivity without Jeremiah. And I love what she said to her. She's like, please don't beg for this man. Don't beg for anyone, because the second you beg for someone's respect is the second that you lose it for yourself. And I thought that was so well said, like so well encapsulated. Everything that Huda has done and said and her actions, again, she has been begging. She has been begging Jeremiah. And I loved, again, she was holding her accountable, but also too, on the flip side, Sierra would be like, F Jeremiah, F everything that he's done. Like, you don't need that. So putting the blame on her. And it's like, I get it. Jeremiah isn't necessarily a saint in this situation. Do I think he love bombed her in the beginning? Yes. Do I think he was doing odd things in the beginning? Yes. However, 12 episodes in, this is really all on Huda right now. And again, I just wish they were holding her a little bit more accountable. But at the end of the day, I think Sierra saying what she said to her was respectable. And I like that she did that, because so many people are just scared of this girl, honestly. But do I wish they were a little bit more, not harsh, but went a little bit more harder on her? Yeah, I do. So after the vote, Iris and Jeremiah go into the speakeasy. And you see Huda again. Every single time someone is having a private conversation with someone, she is in the shadows, listening and spying in on the conversation. Again, that's why I feel so bad for Iris. She is just in the middle of this nightmare. And Huda walks in and is like, Iris, can I pull Jeremiah for a chat? Can I take your place? And you can see that Iris is annoyed, but what is she going to do? What is she going to say? No. Oh my gosh. Then Hurricane Huda is going to blow a lid. Again, this conversation I found it to be kind of hilarious, because Huda entered it being the softest spoken we have ever heard her. And she was like almost whispering, because Taylor said to her, however long ago, like that same night, we're done. We're done with the tears. We're done with the way that you're talking to people. Like, please, like positive vibes from here. No more yelling, no more screaming, no more arguing. So then she approached this conversation so soft spoken. Like, we've never seen her speak like that before. And she tells Jeremiah, look, I'm not here to argue. I wish you nothing but the best. I shared the best memories with you. I'm so hurt. I'm this, I'm that, me. Everything was how she feels, how he's made her feel, and it's all I. And again, red flags everywhere. It's always about her. It's always about how she feels. She can't think and feel and put herself in other people's shoes, how she has treated them, how they're feeling. She doesn't care. And so it's just so frustrating too, because all of these islanders saved her from leaving, and the first thing that she does is steal Jeremiah away from Iris and pull her for a chat. Like, it's just very disrespectful. And so many people took notice. Everyone was so frustrated and annoyed by it. And I thought it was great that Taylor tried to break things up. He couldn't even get a word in, because Huda's like, please, like, I'm not yelling. I'm just, we're ending it here. And Taylor leaves, poor guy. But the chapter is closed. After this conversation, it is completely done between them. And thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's done. It's done between them. And did you catch when they went in for a hug and basically were like, okay, this is over, hope you have a good life kind of thing. And they separate. Huda's looking into his eyes, trying to go in for a kiss. And it was so awkward. Jeremiah just went back in for a hug. And I knew in that moment, she wanted him. She wanted him. And so she can say everything that she wants to say, that she's done. And Jeremiah is this and Jeremiah is that. But this girl, like, it took 2 seconds for her to try and pull in for a kiss, because you know that if he kissed her, that would have been the start of them once again. So again, I'm just proud of Jeremiah that he's holding his ground. I'm sure it's not easy, but I'm sure her actions and the way that she's been acting and her words are making it a little bit easier. But Oh man, I'm just happy that these two are done. And I'm happy that it's like the announcer said, I'm sick of saying their name in a sentence. I'm sick of talking about them every single episode. I'm talking about them for a good 30 minutes. I'm looking forward to talking about other people because they are just, it's been a lot. Megan Thee Stallion walks in and she looks fire. She looks so good. And honestly, the caliber of celebrities that this show is bringing in, we have never seen anything like it. I think even the announcer said, he's like, we're making history. We are bringing in a Grammy winning person. Like the budgets this season are insane. They brought in Paige. They're bringing in Megan. It's crazy. I think after last season, this show has completely blown up. I mean, I know. It's completely blown up. All eyes are on the show. Just look at the fact that Jalen got over 1 million followers on TikTok in 2 days. If that doesn't show you the power of this show, the chokehold that all of us in North America have on this show, it's crazy. I love that they're bringing in celebs. I don't see anything wrong with it. Also, too, hearing their perspectives and hearing them, they've been watching the show, what they think of the Islanders, the fact that they, like Sierra and Nick. Megan said that she likes Andrea and Taylor. Like, I think that's cool. It shows them that, like, she's watching. And it, to me, in that moment, would show, wow, we are on this show and Megan Thee Stallion is watching. Like, who knows who else is watching? It's pretty crazy. She is there, obviously, to bring the good vibes, but she's also there to promote her swimwear line, Hot Girl Summer. I had no idea she had a swimwear line. I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, so now we all know. She has a swimwear line, Hot Girl Summer. I just looked up Hot Girl Summer swimwear. The prices are so reasonable, like very reasonable. I don't know if it's sold at Target. Like, that's how reasonable the prices are. So anyways, because you would think Megan Thee Stallion, it'd be expensive, luxe swimwear. No, it's very, very reasonable prices. So good for her. I loved, again, like I said, she gave every single girl a compliment when she came into the villa and, what she's been watching on her screen, how they've been perceiving themselves. I thought she was going to go a little bit in on Huda, but I think if she had, then I think that would have taken away from the fun of the night. And I think they wanted to keep it lighthearted. If she were to say, girl, Huda, you are not looking good. Like, people are not on your side. You got to tone it down. If she came in like that, the night would have been totally different. Huda would have been spiraling. The Hurricane Huda would have came out. So I think she was like, look, Huda, I got to see more smiles. So it was like her kind of saying it without saying it, but basically saying, like, girl, like, stop looking miserable. You're literally in Fiji on Love Island. Look happy. Act happy. The entertainment value of this twerk competition was a 10 out of 10. I rewatched it. I watched it numerous times. I was so thoroughly enjoying it. It was just so fun. It was lighthearted. It was fun. I loved the energy. And I think I was sad that not all the Islanders got to participate in the twerking competition. After the fourth one went, I was like, wait, we're done? Where's Jeremiah? Why didn't he go? I loved it. Why didn't Sierra go? I thought Sierra would have killed it. What about Hannah? So I loved it. It was so good. And oh my gosh, Huda versus Ace. Huda knows what she's doing. And I've heard some things about Huda as to maybe potentially why she knows what she's doing and why she's such a good twerker. Go read it. You'll find it. But she was good. She was really good. And to be up against Ace is a professional dancer. He wasn't twerking. He was crumping. But he's good. It was so funny. I was just thoroughly enjoying it. It was hilarious. I thought Amaya and Austin was, oh my gosh, Austin was killing me. Again, not a fan of Austin, but he was hilarious twerking, and he was so stiff. He wasn't twerking, he was just stiff, literally stiff as a board, but he was hilarious, and he put his all into that routine. And I mean, he won against Amaya, and it was so well deserved. Alondria versus Nick, what a pairing. They were so good. Alondria's ass, I have literally never seen an ass move like that ever. And Shelly said it best. It moves like water. It literally moves like water. I don't know how she does it, but it's mesmerizing. It's literally mesmerizing. I thought Nick was hilarious. His little shimmy behind Megan Thee Stallion was hilarious. He was so good. I think Nick's personality is really shining through in the last few episodes. I think he's so funny. I really like him, and I love him. I think he was absolutely hilarious. Obviously, Alondria won that, because when you're up against Alondria in a twerking competition, you're done. Like, don't even try. But Nick tried so hard. I thought he was so good. And then last but not least, Shelly versus Taylor. Taylor was cracking me up. Those faces he was making, it was hilarious. Again, flat as a board, stiff as a board, but he was so funny. I thought everyone really gave it their all. It was so good. It was the energy that we all needed. I watched it multiple times because I was so entertained, and I wish that we got to see more. That's my complaint. I wish we got to see more. I wish all the Islanders got to do it, and I wish the limbo thing didn't have to happen. Why couldn't they have done the twerking competition, and then everyone got to participate in the twerking competition, and then everyone got to participate in the puzzle? And then if there was a tiebreaker, then they could do the limbo. Such a good competition, such just fun energy. We needed it, and I think it'll be upwards and onwards going forward, because how can you go down? How can we crash hard after that episode? It was just so fun. And again, I think it's just the energy that everyone needed in the villa and us as the viewer. And it was so good. 2 new bombshells enter the villa. I mean, it didn't really matter who won what, because both the men and the women got their bombshells. We got TJ and we got Andina, she's a bombshell. She is the definition of a bombshell. She is probably going to turn every single guy's head. She is stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, like everything. Her body is perfect. She is a beautiful girl, and she's gonna turn heads. I think TJ, like, Shelly was like, oh my gosh, he's so fine, he's hot, he's this. I'm like, Shelly, relax. Like, are you talking about TJ? Like, he's okay. He's okay, but like the fact she was like falling on the floor in her confessional saying how hot he was, I was like, are you sure? But anyways, I think it's time for some new bombshells to enter the villa. I think it's timely. They're the right bombshells, I think, too. I can really see TJ and Iris sparking a connection. I can see Andina with, multiple guys. Jeremiah for sure. When she came into the villa, she said that she wants to get to know Ace, Jeremiah, and Nick specifically. So I think all 3 of those men, again, especially Jeremiah, of course, they're all open. I don't think Nick or Sierra are closed off, and I don't think Ace and Shelly are closed off. I think all of those guys will get to know her if she wants to get to know them. But for sure, especially with Jeremiah basically single. He's with Iris, but I don't see it. I think Jeremiah, especially Jeremiah being with Iris, is all the more reason for Andina to really dive into that connection and see if they have anything going on. Huda says, this bombshell is her type, which is it? I don't know. I think for her, it's just good that there's someone new. Let's see if anything happens between them. I really don't think so. How can any bombshell walking in or any of the guys in Casa Amor come in and want to go for Huda after seeing the way that she has treated people, the things that she says, how she's acted? How can any of these guys want her? So I don't think TJ wants to get to know her. I mean, maybe he wants to get to know her, but I don't think he's going to pull her for any chats. I don't. So let's see. I don't know. I think now knowing Casa Amor is happening on Monday, is anyone going to leave the villa before Casa Amor? There has to. I feel like there's too many people. I feel like there's too many people in the villa right now. So there must be a recoupling happening before Casa Amor. So Huda better watch out because she might be next to go. But if the girls get to choose the guys, then maybe not. So we'll see. It really all depends who gets to choose who. That's it. Those are the 2 episodes. Thoroughly enjoyed both of them. I think they were just polar opposites of each other. You have the first of the 2, which was sucking the life out of all of us and negative vibes, negative energy. And then this last one that was just so fun, so lighthearted. I rewatched it because I loved it so much. And I just hope it's upwards and onwards and positive vibes and energy from here. Because if I'm putting all of this effort and time into watching the show 5-6 days a week, I want to feel negative energy. I want to see them all enjoying themselves, having a good time. If there's negative energy happening in the villa, then that's going to translate on TV, and us as the viewers aren't going to be enjoying it. We have Casa Amor coming our way very, very soon. I will be back before you know it to recap episodes 14 and 15, and then after that, we got Casa Amor. That'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please rate, subscribe, review, do all of the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at yourrealitycheck.pod. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye.